Welcome back to our episode today on Pathway with Victor Itonyo. It's a privilege having you on board. Today we want to share something as it affects every life. Money talks, money matters. How rich people manage money that schools never teach. Beloved, let's look at this instance. Two graduates finished university at the same time. Both of them got jobs at the same time, earning practically the same salary. But 10 years later, one of them is still struggling with rent, how to pay their rent. The other one owns property, has investments here and there. What do you think made the difference? Is it salary? Is it prayer? Or is it financial intelligence? Which of them do you think is the answer? Correct. It's not just prayer alone. It's not just the salary alone. It is also financial intelligence. Proverbs chapter 4 verse 7 has this to say. It says, wisdom is a principal thing. Therefore, in getting wisdom, get understanding. Schools teach us how to earn money, but they don't teach us how to manage money. That is why many educated people are poor all over the world. It is not an African thing. It is not a Caucasian thing. It is not an Asian thing. It is a global phenomenon. The truth is, it's not how much money you earn that is the issue, but it is how you manage wealth. The money you receive that creates wealth. I take it again. It's not how much money you earn that is the issue, but how you manage your resources, your financial resources, that determines how wealthy you will be. So, what are the key things we need to learn from rich people? Number one, rich people separate income from wealth. Hear me. Salary itself does not create wealth. As good as salary is, if you don't manage it well, you will still be broke. That is a given factor. Why? Because they never build money-making assets. Salaries do not build money-making assets, except they are saved. You put money aside and strategically over time. Now, the good thing about investment is that when you invest a capital amount, over time, that asset grows in capital gain. It means that there is revenue that has come upon what you invested. Sometimes it could be land, sometimes it could be gold, sometimes it could be, valuable asset. Over time, buy things that value will appreciate over time. I want us to differentiate between what is a liability and what is an asset. Of course, many of you have read the Rich Dad, Poor Dad book. The assets that create revenue are called assets. But things that you just buy just improves your image, does not bring money in your pocket, they are called liabilities. So if you build a house, 150 million naira to build a house, or 50 million naira to build a house, or 30 million or 15 million, that house, as good as it is not bringing any revenue to it. If, however, you work in a place and they pay you, yearly rent allowance, and you are no more spending that money on rent, then means, yes, that property can be an asset. Otherwise, it is a liability. That's the truth about it. Why am I telling this? I'm not telling you not to build. I'm just saying that mind how much of your total money you invest in what? Non-income earning assets. Or because they are not really assets. Even though in your accounting statement, you can say you have this property valued at this, it does not genuinely bring revenue except you are selling that property or you are giving that property for rent. Then it becomes an income earning asset. Listen to this. If your primary income stops today, can you keep the same lifestyle? If your answer to this question is no, then know that worse what? You are not yet wealthy. That's the truth. If you cannot sustain your lifestyle, If that income source, if you lose that job, it means you're just going to drop from a 2-bedroom house, you're going to move to a face me, I face you. It means that you are not wealthy. But if after losing that job, you can still maintain that lifestyle, it means you are a wealthy person. Number 2 thing that rich people do. Rich people buy assets, not liabilities. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 12 says, wisdom is a shelter as money is a shelter. So wisdom is a shelter and money is a shelter. Poor people buy expensive phones to show other people that they have expensive phones, even though they are just using the phone to do the basic things. Rich people buy land. Poor people buy clothes. Rich people buy businesses. They buy shares in the stock market. They are putting their money in money market. They are putting it in places where it will generate other revenue. Many young people spend millions on cars, but they own no investment. And guess what? It can be so deceptive because you keep thinking that that source of income you are getting will continue to be there. The question is, how about, God forbid, but this thing do happen. How about that if that income source dries up? What are you going to do? Proverbs chapter 6 verse 6 to 7 say, go to the ants, which having no captain, they have no ruler, they have no leader, no overseer, yet they provide, they make sure they have a good plan to store for their tomorrow during the summer, so that when winter comes, when it is practically impossible to do anything, they have something to lean on. Small business owners who save small amount of money daily become financially stable over time. Why? Because they are putting something aside, which later they can pick up to invest to create other income earning assets. What is the lesson here? You don't need big money to start investing. One income source is risky. No matter how good that income source is, make sure you have alternative places that money can also come from. Take care of the source that the money is coming, nourish it very well, manage it effectively, but also build alternative sources so that if that well dries up, you have something else to live on. Number 4 principle, rich people create multiple income streams. Hear me this, friend. One income source is very, very dangerous. During the COVID-19, across the entire world, we saw something that happened that affected many jobs. The truth is that even within the COVID, while many people were crying, lamenting, statistics show that there are some people who made far more money than they even made when everything was normal across the globe. During that period, the very rich, they are in some kind of businesses, online businesses, and all of that. They multiply their wealth exceedingly, astronomically. They multiply their wealth. What is the lesson we are saying? We need to diversify our income sources. Don't rely or depend only on one set. And even though that set is very good, make sure, yes, to avoid it from any kind of element, safeguard it, secure it, create insurance, risk, do a risk assessment, and make sure that you mitigate those risks that are likely to upturn that business, that revenue source. But in sight of that, create alternatives. If you depend only on one income, you are one step away from poverty if that step fails. That's why you need to build money post-trade. Number 5, rich people think generationally. A good man leaves inheritance for their children and their children's children. Make sure you leave something for your generations to come. Many parents suffer because previous generations before them left no assets to them. Can you imagine? I met a young man just a few months ago, and I was told that that young man, the grandfather, had bought a house. It's a 4-bedroom house. And then the grandfather had passed away, and the grandfather was using a very beautiful car. It's a Prado car. This young guy had just graduated from university, and he got a job. And he said, look, I'm weighing the options. Because now this young man has a house, because the house was willed to him, and this house was worth more than 400,000 US dollars. And he has a car. And of course, there's some money that was also passed to him. So he's weighing the options of whether he should go get a job or start a business. And that is more prone to go into business. Why does this young man have this option? Because there is something he can live by. There's something that compare him to somebody who is starting afresh, looking for a job, who needs to rent a house. You see, they are not on the same level. I want you to know this, that from practical steps you need to take, as important as it is to be wealthy, you need to track your expenses. You need to save consistently. You need to learn investment basics. You need to build assets that will generate revenue. Avoid bad debts. Beloved, wealth is something you build intentionally. It's not a coincidence or an accidental effect. The truth is that while prayer brings miracles, prayer combined with financial intelligence will reduce poverty drastically. And that is what I want you to choose. I want you to choose the path that will bring you to breakthrough, where you will live a life that is consistent, that is manageable, that is predictable, that is risk secured. I know there is no total risk-free in the entire world, but at least you can do a lot to protect yourself reasonably so that your lifestyle does not just tumble overnight and you go to ground zero. Have you been blessed by today's word? Thank you so much for sharing with us. Thank you so much for listening to this. And I'm glad that as you continue to listen to us, we are encouraged to do more by providing more information and more things that will be a blessing to you. And if you really liked it, I want you to subscribe, like, and share with someone who needs to hear this. And guess what? Sometime in March, we'll be organizing a live program where only subscribers, only those who subscribe will benefit. So to be an early bird from now, begin to subscribe, because we'll be sharing live information of things that will benefit your life, particularly as it relates to what? Your business, as it leads to what? Your finances, and of course, how your life is going to go in the years ahead. God bless you for listening. See you in the next edition.